Bruce Lee is a man whom I studied very deeply. And he says, anytime you wish to study the core of a concept, you must study the root. You can't just study the branches. You can't study the leaves. You have to study the root. This takes a great deal of concentration and focus. So one example, I'm going to share an example that I share with a lot of young men. I say, do you ever study the root of a tree? This past fall, Hurricane Sandy came through, and I had the chance to see a lot of trees, just magnificent trees, knocked on the floor. Right. And I'm talking about uprooted. And one day I was jogging, and we have to be inspired by small things, especially being in the inner city. I saw the roots of a magnificent tree, and you have small roots, you have gigantic roots, you have medium-sized roots. The size of the root depends on its contribution to the life force of the tree. Right. So if it's a thick root, that means this root is giving a lot of nutrients to this organism. Yeah. It's the same thing with your mind. Our minds have roots in many different areas, many different subjects, many different topics. What are you plugged into? You have to be conscious of even if it's Wi-Fi, we have Wi-Fi with our mind. Extraordinarily conscious what you feed your mental energy into. You understand? What is your purpose? I ask people, how do you discover purpose? You can't discover purpose without discovering yourself. Right. And with purpose, very little action is wasted. Very little time is wasted. Your language, it begins to change. So, like with me discovering purpose, I've recognized the shift. Sometimes I forget, how arrogant I was or how cocky I was.
I remember.
Yeah, it's... But that's the beauty of it.
But you know what? Not again, and to jump on that, you I won't say so much cocky. You had a confidence as a young man. I can say this because I was around you. You had a confidence that you was a leader of men. I mean, right. But obviously, again, I mean, and just to touch on that, because when I was a young coach coaching, and I really didn't know much what I was doing. I knew football, but just working with kids. And Corey was the type of guy, he was like my coach on the field. No, seriously. So, you always had that. So now you just kind of metamorph into other things. So I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud to see what you're doing. And, if anybody's listening to the show, obviously, again, this is a young man that certainly can relate. And as an older guy, now middle guy, you pass the baton to you young brothers.
Yes, sir.
It's pretty much now, somebody will look at me and go, oh, man, that old dude, or all of us in this room, we're all in the same age bracket. So you are that next level. You are too, Kim. It is what it is. But again, it's so refreshing to hear a young man talk with class, with vigorance in his voice, and with a message. And it's a good thing.